Welcome everyone to today's show. Today I have an amazing guest. It's Angelica Dubas. She is a feminine immersion trainer, human design coach, a transformational group facilitator, and an amazing visionary artist. And also one of my education colleagues. We know each other since a couple of years right now. Had the honor to do some coaching classes together. This was super funny most of the time. So we know also some of our deep secrets. Today I will ask you some questions that you can maybe share for your community, also for my community.
Hi everyone.
Hi everyone.
I'm happy to be here with you.
It's also our first honor to do it together on the screen and also live. And if you have some questions later on, we will put all the information of Angelica down. Be welcome to shoot your questions towards us, and we do our best to answer them.
Yes.
And maybe we start at the beginning of your journey, kind of, because you're already working on yourself since a couple of years. I know that because we talked already a lot about it, and you support already also many clients since many years. So what is your core starting point, or like your first starting point, your needle mover that you said, okay, that was the reason why I started with the self journey, or that was the reason why I started to support other people?
It started with me first, yeah. Actually, it started very, my beginnings were already very early, if I can compare it to others, because I felt it already in the last year of my school. I really felt I had one teacher. We had this teacher for the last year of our school, because we had to do some alternative lesson to religion. If you would not take religion, you had to do ethics.
Okay,
and then we had this guy coming to us. It was a professor from the university, and just his input made something inside of me, kind of philosophical input he gave, and his whole energy, his being. And then I just felt that something clicked in me, and I felt I'm actually not, I don't want to go this path of just having a, let's say, mediocre life, or just doing something what others want me to do, or just working for a certain thing. I just felt there's something deeper, which really wanted to come out of me. And then I started to be interested in meditation and other things, and really wanted to go into another direction rather than just being focused on normal things.
Okay.
Say.
And did you have like some friends who also were like going in the same direction? Was it really like, no, I'm now the first pioneer for myself? And
I had some friends already in the lesson from the schoolmates. We would talk about this, but then actually I started it for myself, because immediately after school I went to Rome, I went to Italy. I was there for myself. I studied art, and I chose to study art and not to go with fashion design, for example, because I felt really this is more what my soul wants, and I wanted to go into this creative expression.
So the inner calling was more
inner calling was more strong, and I trusted in that. And then I started to do a lot of things for myself in Italy. So really for myself, I was on my own journey with it. And after, I think, a couple of years, I met a couple, and they really passed a lot of teachings to me. So then I was with them a lot, and I got to be their translator at some point, and I was promoting them, and I went into a lot of retreats with them, and then a lot of things happened for me. I learned a lot, a lot from them. Yes.
What did they offer? What kind of
like recognizing your true self, retreats, and really recognizing your ego patterns and what is your real self, and seeing it from this higher perspective, and going into the present moment, actually being very present with what is. And there, I started to really get a lot of tools and intuitive knowing about how to work with others. Before I was doing a lot of meditation things just for me, but there I could see how they worked with others, and I learned a lot from it.
I find it really cool, because I can relate to it, that when you have this inner calling that you have to do something else, that I think the majority of people that I know, they went away kind of out of the comfort zone, out of the known area to confront yourself with the unknown. And then I think when there's this open gap and there's also this inner part that is ready to get teach maybe new knowledge, and that you then find your teachers in the end. That's beautiful that you met then this couple.
I really feel one point that everyone has to do is really to get away from the expectations of their parents.
You
really have to do that. Everyone has to do that to get really really do your path. You cannot do what your parents expect from you.
Yeah, that's true.
They love you, they want the best for you, but you really have to listen to yourself. And some things that you want to do most probably will not be what they expect from you.
Yeah, that's true.
So it helped me to really go away, be in another country, be there for 6 years, not having a lot to do with Austria, with my conditioning, and find in this new area, in this other environment, find myself more easily. So I agree. It helps.
I think for my parents, it was just like, you have your main education, that's already done. You can get a job, so we are out of the equations. But we will push you so much that you get at least one education.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what it is, that you get one education. So in the worst case, you can all the time fall back to it and keep on going.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So after all these years that you worked with clients, and what are your biggest insights that you had now? Because I know right now you work with a lot of women, so that they, please correct me if I'm wrong, that they get more trust in their feminine embodiment, how they show themselves, that they really love themselves deeply. But what was for you the biggest insights that you got out of this?
So one thing that I have to say in all of that, like I started more with this part of consciousness, and people would say, some people in this polarity scene would say I started more with the Shiva training.
Okay, what does that mean?
It means more the masculine approach to meditation and to embodiment, like really being present and being the observer, like Eckhart Tolle style.
Okay.
And then afterwards, while I was in this, and I went also to another teacher who was teaching that and coaching, awakening coaching, he called it. I got to know, I did one exercise in this awakening coaching weekend, which was a feminine embodiment exercise. And I felt like my whole body was like, yes, I want more of this.
Okay.
And there was actually the shift where I started to feel like I have to do more feminine embodiment and I have to bring these two things together. Because first it was really, the approach was very on the not mind level, but
cognitive, mental,
yeah. And more consciousness based, not so much about your body, not so much about embodiment. And then I felt like, okay, I still have a lot of issues also on a sexual level. I could really be present, really work with people, and I could go into deep stuff, but still I had a lot of problems or issues around relationship topics and sexuality. And then when I was in this one weekend workshop and we did this feminine embodiment thing, this guy, he's called Arjuna Ardak, he told me that this practice is actually something that his woman is teaching, his wife. And then I was like, okay, I have to do that. And there I started, then I went to her, Shamali Ardak, and did a training with her. And then from this point on, a lot of tantric trainings too. And then I started to do more things for women. But I'm mentioning this because now I'm at the point where I put these two things from my whole path together. Like this more Shiva, and the Shakti, like it's really like that. The masculine approach to meditation and the feminine approach to meditation. And for the feminine, it's more about embodiment, really arriving fully in the body. And like we all have the masculine and the feminine inside, but I had really to bring these two things together inside myself. Because I felt like I was a little bit too aloof, like not so connected to the earthiness or to the humanness. And this approach, the feminine approach, brought me more into this humanness, like being divine and human in the same time, like this kind of stuff. So what was your question?
No, but I found it cool that you had like your own obstacles and that you went after the search to get answers to that, and that you felt more and more the call to that. But I also found it interesting because I think I told you already once that I started when I was 21 with these energetic meditations, just because I had this inner calling. My mom was in this circle. But at one point I felt that during these meditations you're already so far away. But right now we are still here, and they talk all the times about, everything, there will be peace on earth and everything will be divine and awesome and happy. And I asked myself like, okay, you said that this year, didn't come. You said it next year, didn't come. You said it next year. So at one point I really had done, hey, we are right now here. There's a reason why we have this physical body, materialistic body. So I find it really cool also that you said, I think it's good to be in that state to explore that,
yes,
to understand this side of life or side of the universe or however you want to call it, but also acknowledge, hey, I have this body here right now. That's an amazing tool to communicate, to experience, to thrive, because I also believe we have to go to things in this. That's one of the basic rules in this life. If you really want to learn something, you have to go into this and this resonance field of it. So like you explained before, you went out to get answers and then you met these people because you attracted them. Yeah. So that's really cool. Yeah. And what are the main topics that your clients are having right now? Is it like mostly about limiting beliefs that they have about themselves, relationships, or like old stories that they take from their families, or what is it right now, if you can share it?
Yeah, I think all the clients we have are always mirroring something from our own path, so we attract clients that have similar topics from our past. So a lot of my clients have relationship topics, and also the issue how to really go with your own purpose, really trusting yourself, and how to be able to live more what is your gift. And then also on the feminine level, when I'm giving women's courses, feminine retreats, feminine coaching, it's a lot about being able to experience emotions without story and really connecting more to the heart, because there are a lot of layers for a lot of women, and we all know it, that we actually start to close our hearts because of the past issues, past stories that happened.
Because you don't want to get hurt.
Yeah, again. You don't want to get hurt, and you put layers around your heart. And a lot of women are not conscious about that. But when we do the feminine practice, we get conscious about that we actually need to open our heart and to really drop more into the body. So I see for a lot of women, with women that I work with, but I think this is more collective, it happens that the topic is to really come back fully into the body and into the heart, and also into the feminine centers, and being there fully present, alive, like opening up. So going through the patterns that hold you back from opening up to life again on the level, really physical level too, but also on the emotional level. So
I think they also get it for sure from like some things from the family.
Yes.
So they see how my mom, grandma was doing it X, Y, Z, or showing herself like that, or talking about feelings like that, and then I think I talked yesterday with my wife about how it must be for women when they're younger, like when they come into puberty, that I think a lot of women have this huge amount of self-criticism, how their body feels like, because we talked yesterday about Jordan Peterson. I don't know if you heard about it. He's pretty big in the media right now. He's really critical about that transgender women show themselves so publicly, so it can be difficult for young women or also young men when they're still in the phase of finding themselves, when they're older, of the hormones are shooting in, and there's this change of the brain, that it can be really, that it can be a huge problem, because they have to find themselves to root, and when there's maybe, I still don't know the answer for myself if that is a good approach or not, or if it's like what Jordan Peter said, that it's not good to show it. I think that when people have a difficulty to find themselves in their body, it's good to talk about it. but it's also how we have it right now in the media, that everything is super exploited, and to show yourself super naked, or that's a transgender coming to school classes in the States where young kids are. I think that's a little bit a problem. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's very sensitive, this phase, when you are in this stage of age. And I was also working as a teacher with children in this age, and also with girls. And I had also talks with them, and I could see the insecurity. And I think the medium doesn't make it better, but it's how it is. Cannot do something against it, really. I think we could support like girls in this age and boys in this age, like young women, young men, to really find a way to find their own identity in their masculinity or in their femininity. And this is actually something where I'm really curious. I want to explore this more, because I would like to offer it actually to women in this, like to girls in this age, to really have a transition, to really be more confident with this process, and to find their own expression, but also their love for their feminine body. And I think there is not enough education, and the education that we get from the media is not the good education.
Yeah, I don't think it's about sexuality or how.
So my approach would be to offer more education that is really valid, and to really work or to give, not work, but to give some kind of tools and some kind of inputs to younger men and women to really find their own connection with themselves in this process, to be then the man and the woman in a more healthy way. Because as it happens to us from our generation, we all have now to find, like, we have to go through a lot of stuff that was messed up. So that's why we are doing this, because we got messed up, like with all these ideas how to approach men, how to approach women, how to approach their own body, how to approach sexuality.
Like in India, does a show a pain or something like that, but I think every man heard it, and when they were young, like, hey, why are you crying? Like, you don't show emotions, or
these kind of things, or for women how to approach sexuality. There's no teaching in that, not really. And this is why I feel it would be so nice to really offer some valid informations about that. And we are now working with this in our age, because we have to work through what went wrong, let's say, or what didn't work, and past traumas and patterns, to really come to the point that we can be confident on this level and loving with each other. This is actually the mission, one of mine, and I think one of yours too. Yeah,
you're right. I think if our parents wouldn't have, or our relatives wouldn't have messed it up, I mean, I think they did the best that they could do at that time, because but I think they also got messed up a little bit, or influenced for sure by their parents, and like it's really this ancient thing also that goes for each family. I think also each family has their own topic. But I really like that what you said. But adding to that, how is it when you talk with your clients about it? Doesn't matter if male or female. How does this phase of right now that we have with selling yourself a lot on social media, either if it's Instagram, TikTok that we talked before about it, YouTube, how women are shown in magazines. How is it then for women when you talk with them? Do they feel sometimes a conflict with, like, I don't want to show myself like that. I feel sometimes forced to show myself because that's what society wants from me, or they want to have that I am, like, what do they say, like the best wife, then you're also like a whore in bed, and like, you know the saying. So how is it for them, this whole topic?
For my clients, you mean?
Or when you talk with them. Is it a topic? Or
it's not so much a topic. Okay. I think actually more the Instagram and Facebook things that are happening is more a topic, because we create already a whole new culture about that, which I'm not so happy about what is happening there. Or not fully agreeing with it, because it feels like same thing again. Showing yourself in this certain way means that this is how you can be successful, or this means that you got it, And then others who are not doing it look at it and think, this is how you got it, and I have to be like that.
All the time happy, all the time nice dressed,
or being on the beach with my cell phone and making pictures from everything what I'm doing.